guests who are joining us on various online platforms. And this is Aishwary Pratap Singh, Director and Moderator of Experience Sharing National Foundations India. Today, we are having the country coordinator for Armenia, Mrs. Elias. She is an ESL, EFL, and ESP trainer, teaches PhD at Armenian State Pedagogical University. She took her MA in the field of physiology and foreign languages. She is an ESL trainer at SKYENG, international speaker. She has taken part in many national and international conferences. She is also the author of many specific articles uh, in the field of English and pedagogy and foreign languages too. She is the volunteer of different projects in international companies such as HETT, Edu Armenia, ELTA University, etc. A very warm welcome to all our viewers and the distinguished guest joining this session. Welcome you, Elias, for joining us on a very short notice, and we have a lot to cover today. And this is itself a privilege that she take out some of the time from her busy schedule for us. So welcome you to our platform, and now this platform is all yours. So please.
Okay, good afternoon and good morning. In some places it's good morning. Thank you, first of all, for the chance having here and sharing my experience and notes and also ideas about the teaching skills, especially this, we say just the awful, pandemic situation. Today, in my while sharing, I will try to speak not only about the negative sides of pandemic situation, how it negatively has both in our environment, in our education system, but also I will try to, at the same time, to share and represent some kinds of positive attitudes and ideas about teaching online platform or the virtual platform. As we know, the first education is the stepping stone for all of us. If you wanted to be a real member of society, but let's say that years by years we nearly had the traditional education and educational system, and it was the same as for our parents, for our grandparents. Just a little bit, let's say that technologies just have been developed, but beginning from the last year, everything just changed. And as an introduction, I will give you, bring as an example of a fantastic genre. About 30, 40 years ago, there was an author who was writing fantastic genre stories. In one of his stories, it was about a little boy who was talking with her mother. There were some places where they were just like a closet where they were doing all things. And while being in that room, he found something and asked his mother, "Mother, what is it?" And mother said that its name is book, and it's your grandfather's book. And the child begins to be interested. What is it? Because I haven't seen anymore such kind of thing. What is it? And mother said that there were times when people used to go to school. They have teachers, they have books, textbooks where they write, they read. And the boy just wondered, what about me? Why don't we have? And she said that everything has changed. Now the technology has improved. And now we don't need to go to school because we have computers and we have a real new teachers, let's say new teachers. And the boy began open the book, began to look through and said, I want to have such books. I want to have friends. I want to go to school to read, to write. But at that time, his mother said, oh, someone is calling you. You have to go. And he opened the door and saw his technological, let's say, teacher. It was a robot. This story was written about 40 or 30 years ago. It was a fantasy genre. And while we were reading this story, we never can just imagine that there will be times, there will be pandemic situations, there will be lockdown, and everything will just change. We won't be able to go to school, yes, but it was like a nightmare when we just slept, and in the morning everything was just that it's going to be locked down because there is a pandemic situation. Everything is going to be changed. It was awful for us, but we tried at first just to realize what kind of situation it was, especially in the educational field. The first week, let's say that we wasted time because we're trying to jump up from one platform into another, then another. The safest one at first was Viber, then we went to Messenger, then went to Skype, then they said Zoom, there is Zoom platform, and also then Microsoft Teams. We tried. Every day we tried to do, but it was a waste of time because the first difficult that we faced it was that we didn't know these platforms. We have heard, in some cases even we have been trained, have attended any kind of trainings, but we have never tried it because we just use the traditional education platform. We use, as a teacher used to say, we want to have interaction. We wanted to physically feel, just think, take something, to touch it. We want it, but not everything virtually. And honestly, I said before the pandemic time, I was writing my PhD thesis, and it was concerning to the online teaching. I had started my service observations before the pandemic time, and let me say that 90% of teachers just wanted to have traditional education. They don't want even listen about online teaching. And I was just gaining some kinds of information about 2-3 months. What can I do about online teaching? And there was pandemic began. And I tried very quickly to do some kinds of service.
So, Elias,
Engineers, yes.
everybody
In order
knows
just
that you are like the people who knows you, and they also know that you are a passionate teacher, and you are also a mother of two daughters and one son. So how you
yes.
manages your family? Like they all three are small kids, and you are also
All of them, they are school children. Yes, they are school, but I work in different school. My children go to different school. We are from different school. I always just say that if you want to do something, you can manage. Just want, you can do it. Because if you just rely on somebody, no one will help you. They will just give you any kind of advice, but no one will come and really help you. That's why I always rely on myself and try to plan.
that's great.
That's why, yes, that's why I just manage it.
You are really smart and forwarded educator. India need these kind of educators. India welcome you.
I'm working. I am working in India. By the way,
That's great.
I am working at, yes, my friend Ramaiga Tedri School principal, Miss Taruna Kapoor, she has invited me. And now I am teaching at her school virtually on the virtual platform. I'm teaching to groups.
Dr.
Kindergarten,
Dr. Meenakshi Narula madam.
Taruna Kapoor.
No, no, no. Dr.
Yes,
Meenakshi Narula, she has also invited you in her session, right? From India, Dr.
yes,
Meenakshi, yeah.
yes.
So from India,
In India, let me say that in India, I have virtually traveled in different kinds of provinces and towns because I'm working at Ramaiga. I have just conducted different kinds of teacher training sessions in different Indian schools and colleges. From time to time, they just help me and I prepare some training courses for teachers, for their school teachers, and provide them, just conduct them. That's why I have been different parts of India. Now also at this moment also with my school, with one of my classes, we are having a project with one of Indian schools.
that's amazing. So if you don't mind, then can we start our Q&A session? There are certain questions that audience would like to ask you. So, what is your experience, first of all? What is your experience while connecting or while meeting with Indians as well as from other foreign country people? Like, what does that experience exactly mean? How you enjoyed
Uh,
that?
let's say that I have just experienced not only with India, but I am also having being as a coordinator, as an ambassador of different kinds of international projects. I just deal with different countries, not only with India, but also with like Philippines, Malaysia, Taiwan, Korea, different kinds of. Every time, first of all, let's say when I started, it was last year. It was very difficult for me when I just was doing my first steps on an international platform. But just my experience, maybe flexibility that helped me very well just to join from one into another. And one of them is also my second profession is psychologist. I have my MA degree in psychology. It always just helps me just to communicate, to make interactions with different nations of people. And let's say that I succeed. Not always, but majority I succeed in doing just interactions with different kinds of and what refers to Indian just working I started working the first with Miss Taruna Kapoor when we started intercultural exchange program with their school and between their and our school. I started my first steps, but now I am having different kinds of just projects in different Indian schools from time to time. And nearly I know everything, not language, but about the culture, traditions. I know especially my Ramaiga school students, they do everything. So they are best just help me if I have any. And I have some students also who are Indian students and who are always just ready to help me if I need difficulties.
Definitely. Indians are basically famous for their commitment for their legacy. We are the people who are hanging our legacy in our hand. And to work with it in many ways, we have typical festivals, we have typical recipes, and we are typical people. We are working.
Yes, if I am not mistaken, on the 22nd of August, yes, Brothers and Sisters Day, you have.
Yeah.
I know also about it. And because one of the projects that now we are doing with our school and one of Indian schools, according to this project, now the first meeting we have as intercultural changes about food, about traditions. That's why, and also some presents to Indian students from our country.
Oh, so what are the basic things that you looked like when you when your attachment is with, or virtual attachment is with other countries, so what you notice the most, like what are the main differences
The
between
first
education
difficult
systems?
that we usually have is culture and language. Because sometimes you can have a lesson. There were times when I was having lesson with a student whose language I don't know. He just knew the words good morning, goodbye, how are you, I am okay. Such kind of maybe 10, 15 words in English, and it was very just difficult for me to plan, to construct everything on such kind of level in order just to make him understand me and do lessons with him or her. I don't know, because I don't know if there was something, for example, in English. I don't know. I know Russian, my language, Armenian, French. It will be very easy for me. Just if I don't know the word, I can just switch on from one language into another. But when you don't know their language, it's very just difficult. Let me say it was very difficult because you have to plan everything in other level, on other field, in another way in order to make them understand you. You have to have just mm, just you have to wait. I don't know how. It was very difficult times, let me say. But now, when I just look back, sometimes I'm surprised how could I overcome this kind of difficulties. The first one was language, culture, some kinds of internet problems, but it doesn't. And also choosing appropriate materials, because you have to take into account the level of the student. You have to account their traditions. Maybe this material is very appropriate for my culture, but not appropriate, for example, your culture. Accent, speaking style, intonation, everything differs, because there will be someone whom you can't understand their accent sometimes because they don't know very well English. You are going to teach them. They can be have another accent, another, I don't know, such kind of from different points you can have just difficulties, but you have to overcome them.
Oh, that's awesome. Your way of looking world and other countries, that's awesome that you had mentioned previously. So, can you please tell us some ways of for better study? Please include some points for students to have a better study, and how can we learn English well, and what should we have to do, because we have another culture and we have another mother tongue, Hindi. So that is English is a different language for us, and I think that this is a good or excellent plus point for us, that we can also speak a third language, because to cut off from your mother tongue and you are doing something else, that if that is connected with a language. So I think that is really impressive, because normally the people in foreign countries as well, they are working with English language instead of learning any other. And this is also because English is one of the international language that we can find anywhere. So leave that. I just would like to ask that what are the points that a student can adopt for learning better English and score better marks in English?
In this case, first of all, when you wanted to learn something, first of all, you should realize that you need it. Uh, in everything, I just say that in our lives, we even should take something from our failure, not only just based on our success and it's all on our achievement. No, if you fail, you should take something from your failure too. You should find something positive for it to undertake. In this case, the first thing every time when I just wanted to do something, I just realized that I really need and I want to learn this one. Second part is finding the appropriate materials or courses that I would like to attend or watch, listen. There are many different, now technology has been just improved, developed. We have developed technology, and it just allows us to enter, find everything that we need. We can find audiobooks, materials, videos for beginners, for starters. You can take everything for you. Second thing, I would just offer, if you wanna, for example, learn English. Let's an example, take English. I can find courses, materials, audiobooks, videos, some kind of listenings. I can, the next step is making friendship with other nation students who know, even if they are not native speakers, but they know very little English, and it will also help them just to grow, to improve their English. In this case, you can find friends. For example, being involved in different kinds of international projects, my students now have a big international student community. They have friends from Philippines, from Taiwan, from Malaysia, from India, and they are very good friends. And what is interesting is they are speaking language is only English because they none of them know other languages besides except their mother tongue. They don't know other languages, and this is very good just chance for them because you can read, you can translate, you can learn vocabulary. But if you don't use, if you don't listen to other people, you can't practice your speaking skills. You can have reading, listening, writing, but no any kind of speaking skills. That's why you just avoid it and you become very just short of it. But if you make friendship, if there is something even you don't know, you try to find something Google. I know, for example, students who, if any word they don't know, they try to find it very quickly in Google and try to translate it. And that's why the next just step is to find friends. It's also there and be involved in different. Just enter any. There are nowadays there are many, plenty of different kinds of webinars, just sessions, discussions where you can find. Even if you're in your Facebook, you can write just. I want to practice my speaking skills. Who wants to be with me? There will be a whole army for you, a big army for you, who will be just are free and they just are open just to make contact with you and just improve it. The first thing, this one.
Yeah, that's amazing because English is something.
Your voice is unmute.
Actually, English is everything. English is not something because English is like English has an own world because English is something that we use in because formally if we are thinking that English is one of the most common international language that we can listen anywhere on international platforms. So yeah, English is leading language we can say in another word. So the attract the this session was real is really going well, and it is amazing to having you today, and we are clearing so many of confusions per minute. The speed is really very fast. So I would like to ask that how you see in the world. If I elaborate this, that we can say that what let's leave that. What are the things that you promote in a person? Like what qualities do you promote in a person or in a student? What are the qualities if you looked that qualities in any of your student or any of a person, then what are the qualities that you appreciate?
About learning English, yes.
Yeah.
First of all, let's say if you wanted to be a well-educated person, you should do everything, just not for your field. For example, as for me, I'm a psychologist, I'm a teacher trainer, yes, in different, leading different kinds of international projects. But at the same time, I try to find some information from other fields too, which sometimes help me just to know everything. And in this case, I can just say that it's very okay. You should just be well literate, read it, not only books, watch many things, even something if you aren't interested in, it's okay. You can do it. Just be aware of everything because the world changes. We should change too. We should walk with work because if we just stand goals and we stay behind. In this case we can just go. That's why for work if you want to be a real one of the 21st century, let's say student or
And this is Aishwary Pratap Singh, Director and Moderator of Experience Sharing National Foundations, India. Today, we are having the country coordinator for Armenia, Mrs. Elias. She is an ESL, EFL, and ESP trainer, teaches PhD at Armenian State University. Virtual living never take the place of reality. We can do that, but we can't rest over there. We have to be working with in some ways we can let it be go on to virtual life, but virtual life is not the starting or not the end. We should have to be to nice ma'am that she had joined us today. Thank you very much for your precious time that you have given to us on a very short notice. I am very grateful to her because she had also discussed so many of the topics from all over the world. She's just not discussed about Armenia or just about India. She has covered the whole world. And this is just the time problem. Otherwise, we have really a big session. But this is not the end. This is not the end. As I say, we will have may if we get a chance, then we can again work together in future. And thanks a lot for joining with me and for teaching our audience a lot. You are an adorable and inspirational speaker. You can also mark yourself as a motivational speaker because in some sorts you are a motivational speaker, and I would love to say this again and again. One, that you are looking beautiful and gorgeous today, and thank you for giving us time. So really very thank you to you for being with us today.
okay. Thank you very much. Also, if I could just be a little bit positive, just I'm an optimist person, and I even in there is a saying, yes, that behind the clouds there is always sun, and I try to be this one and always just try to give positive thoughts and attitudes. Also, be just positive, energetic. Everything will just change, but we try to not to stand and say it's pandemic situation. We are we are depressed, in stress. No, everything also try to find something beautiful and positive even in this pandemic.